What's up people, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another video. So this is gonna be somewhat of a summary video of the products that I've had the time to experience this year. So we got a few mice categories, Hall effect keyboards, mouse pads, as well as 3 brands that I felt stood out this year. It's not gonna be a listicle or ranking of each product because a lot of these things boil down to personal preference. So what I'm gonna do is mention the releases that I enjoyed using the most as a gamer instead of choosing based on milliseconds on the spec sheet. And there will also be a few products that I have not done a review video on yet because I haven't had the time to shoot them. Just note that all these are based on my personal preferences and experience of all the products that I had the opportunity to try this year. So if you don't see a personal favorite, don't take it personally. It does not mean that it's bad. In fact, a lot of products this year are pretty good. Now let's get started with gaming mice. First, for the universal shape category, I will give it to Razer's Viper V3 Pro. And why? Well, it's got the latest tech, a solid feeling and lightweight build. This is a mouse that would satisfy most market trends of gaming mice today. It has a universal shape that is great for gaming and comfortable to use as an everyday mouse. And also the coating is one of my favorites. If and when they release a smaller version of this one, I can imagine that a majority of gamers will main Viper V3s in 2025. I'm not head over heels for the Viper V3 Pro, but considering the releases in 2024, this is the best in the universal shape category in my opinion. Up next, my mouse pick specifically for the claw grip style, the Zowie ZA13DW. This is the most solid feeling mouse I've experienced amongst all the releases this year. The DW series introduces the new 4K enhanced receiver that also works as a charging dock, and the mice in this series are fitted with the PAW 3950 sensor as well, which is good to know. This mouse has an excellent shape that feels great for flicking. It includes both speed and control skates out of the box. All Zowie mice are driverless, so you don't need to use any software. This mouse weighs in at 65 grams, which is on the heavier side for today's standards, but it doesn't bother me. This one is not cheap, but it doesn't feel like you get less quality for what you pay for, which is very satisfying. And it's a gaming mouse that feels like it takes itself seriously. Now we have my pick from the ergonomic shape category. For me, it's the Superlight 2 Dex. The shape is great. I would like it even more if it was a little smaller, but that's just my hand size. It is a very nice shape that even my brothers, when I gave them a few mice to try, both of my brothers felt that the Dex was the nicest feeling mouse in the hand. Ergonomic mice for me is usually something that I like to use for work and casual gaming because it gives a lot of comfort, but I find myself going back to symmetrical shapes for a better grip on the mouse for first-person shooters. The shape of the Superlight 2 Dex is one of the few ergos that felt like I have a very secure hold on the mouse and a great level of comfort at the same time. Solid release from Logitech that felt like it came out of nowhere, but from what I observed, Logitech will need time and innovative releases to win back the support of gamers because it's clear that they are falling out of favor. The most impressive mouse release of 2024 is the OP18K. And this one's not just impressive because of the quality and performance for the price, but what really impressed me was that this release made wired gaming and mouse bungees popular again. And that is not easy to do in a market that is dominated by wireless options. It's got excellent build quality, the coating is fantastic, incredible performance, and it's not too expensive. It's a great little mouse and a nice throwback experience for me when wired was the only option for gaming mice back in the day, and for younger gamers today, something different to experience. And finally, my personal favorite mouse release of 2024 that I enjoyed using very much, I gotta give it to the Zowie ZA13DW. Zowie's mouse quality is just on another level, and if I were to choose a mouse based on the looks though, Zowie mice would probably be the last because the designs do not look as appealing as the competition. This one comes in at 65 grams, and of course if ultra lightweight mice is what you enjoy, I would not recommend a Zowie mouse. The enhanced receiver charging dock makes your setup feel complete, and you know, out of all the mice that are unboxed this year, excluding the extremely expensive limited edition ones, mice from Zowie are the only mice that I felt like I was opening a serious gaming product. You could say that the latest DW series are remastered versions of their previous models that people love, and to my knowledge, the ZA13DW sold out almost instantly in Japan. It's a fantastic little mouse, but I am interested to see what the next generation of Zowie mice will be like because I can imagine that Zowie will face some challenges when it comes to design appeal in due time as new generations of gamers come in. The 80HE has everything that made the 60HE great, and a bigger layout makes it even more appealing to a wider audience. The web-based software is the absolute best. It's been using the new utility V5 since launch, which has been in the development phase. They have been actively updating it though, and really good things are to come when the final version is released once all the bugs are ironed out. Honestly, I would say the reason why people still choose a Wooting today is not because of the performance. You see, so many Hall effect gaming keyboards today are at the level of performance where you can't feel the difference. So with that in mind, the biggest value I can think of when I put myself in the consumer's shoes is the user-friendly web-based software, the trust that the brand will continue to improve it, and the many accessories that are available for you to be creative with the keyboard to make it uniquely your own. You don't have to mod it, but the option is there. Wooting keyboards have all the qualities that make it a one-and-done keyboard that I feel will have the longest lasting appeal for a lot of people. The most unique analog gaming keyboard to me is the Field 75HE. Design, functionality, and accessibility, this one was an interesting experience for me. With all the extra buttons and knobs, this brings back what gaming keyboards used to be about. And you would think that a big brand like Razer would have done a Hall effect keyboard with this sort of accessibility. I appreciate that Nufi did an analog keyboard like this, not for me in particular because I mostly play FPS, but because many gamers out there play other genres too. You know, for games like Path of Exile 2 or Diablo for example, the option to assign in-game functions to the extra keys is nice. I think keyboards like this one would add variety to what's being offered in the analog gaming keyboard category, and I really hope to see brands explore more than just the standard layouts for gaming keyboards in the next year. And now the best value for money keyboard to me in 2024 is the Nufi Halo 65HE. This one is hard to beat. For the price, you would not expect it to feel so good on all points. Typing experience, performance, features, and the software is so much better than what so many other brands have for their Hall effect keyboards. To some people, the software isn't such a big deal, but let's not forget that analog keyboards are still quite new to a lot of people. So for many who are new to a keyboard like this, they would spend quite a lot of time configuring the settings, and really the software that Nufi has created for their Hall effect keyboards makes them such easy recommendations to gamers using a keyboard like this for the first time. If I am someone who just wants a good pre-built keyboard to experience all the features of a magnetic switch today, and at most swap out my keycaps and switches over time, the Halo 65HE is a great choice, and this is a keyboard that I feel raises the bar super high as far as value for money is concerned. Now this is a category that I feel needs to be mentioned because there are still gamers who would only purchase from big brands like Razer, Logitech, and Asus, and I can relate because once upon a time that was something that I felt as well. Now the main reason why I picked this keyboard is that it feels really good to type on and sounds so much better than the other options from their direct competition. This is one that I am very comfortable using for more than just gaming, which I am quite sure most people would want from their keyboard. It's also got interesting features like the touch control panel on the back, the rapid trigger toggle switch, and the USB-C ports on the left and right of the keyboard. And it's things like these that make the keyboard model unique, which, let's be honest, as a gamer, aside from good performance and typing experience, it's things like these that you want to see on the keyboard from big brands. You know, you buy the keyboard and it has those things that make you go, ooh, what does this button do? Because if not, it's just another keyboard with rapid trigger and branding. Other than that, the Falcon Ace HFX for the money is an experience that I enjoyed. Logitech recently released their new TKL Rapid, which I have no doubt that the performance for gaming is good, but after checking out the price and hearing a sound test, it's horrifying. And really makes the Asus Falcon Ace HFX look like an affordable god tier gaming keyboard because the TKL Rapid is $100 more expensive than this one in my country. Of course, unless you feel the Afro of a TKL is worth the extra cost, but even so, if you think about it, it will only make sense if the typing experience is on a comparable level to begin with. First is the Type 99, which is the most control-oriented pad released from Artisan. The quality of Artisan pads is just excellent, an authentic Japanese product, and I enjoyed this one quite a lot over the past 3 months gaming on a low sensitivity. A much smoother texture compared to my Artisan Zero, which I had for almost 2 years now. It is a very muddy experience, but when you intend to stop, your mouse really stops. The only problem with this pad is that it is quite difficult to get one because it has a habit habit of vanishing as soon as a restock is announced. Up next is Zowie HSR SE Rogue 2, and Jesus Christ, I really like this one. I played Valorant, Overwatch 2, and a few other games as well, so a balanced pad like this felt really good for pretty much everything. The grip of the new base that Zowie uses for their new releases is fantastic. The surface is very comfortable with how smooth it is against the skin, humidity resistance is improved. Overall, a wholesome mousepad that I am considering using as my main to test all products in 2025. I'll get into more details with my review, but for now I only have good things to say, and I've been very much enjoying my time using this pad. And the last of my top 3 is the lethal gaming gear Saturn Pro V2. The Saturn Pro V2 is a very good control pad. It's a slower experience than the Artisan Zero, which was my main. It's not as rough against my skin as well, and the level of speed and control feels really good for a game like Valorant, but that varies from gamer to gamer, and the quality is pretty good as well. Definitely one of the better control pads if you find that the Artisan Zero is too fast or something like the Zowie GSR2 is too slow. And for glass pads, I haven't tried as many as cloth pads, but so far my favorite would be the Wallhack SB4. Wallhack SB4 has good speed with a nice texture against my skin that I found to be more enjoyable to use with pretty much all games and while working on my computer. It's got a fantastic base with a good grip and it looks really good. A true quality product for the price, and Wallhack's packaging is miles ahead of the competition, so if I were to buy a glass pad as a gift for someone, I'd just give a Wallhack SB4. You remember the whole SnapTap and SOCD drama? Well, they handled things really well. When Razer released SnapTap not too long before the release of the ADHE and made it look like a big innovative feature, Wooting ran a poll for their followers which resulted in favor of having such a feature with Wooting keyboards, and so Wooting added that in with even more features and customizability in a couple of hours, which I think is pretty funny. But anyway, the product development transparency with the ADHE is just outstanding. They make great content, host a lot of live streams where the founders are answering the questions, and with their streams they are getting people's input and they communicate well with their audience and supporters. For their size and popularity, they set a good example of what big and small brands could do to connect with their audience. Very impressive effort from Nufi to reach a gaming market at a time where it felt like too many Hall effect gaming keyboards looked too similar. Nufi keyboards have an identity, and they really took their time to make their web-based software feel complete before launching their Hall effect keyboards, which really paid off. I don't see Nufi as a gaming brand just yet because my impression of them was first from the Nufi Air and the Halo V1, back when mechanical keyboards were the hottest thing amongst gamers. But I think with their recent gaming keyboard releases, I'd say they are on the right track to setting themselves up as a brand that does excellent pre-built keyboards for gamers and the general market. Pulsar, the growth and development of the brand, products, and esports partnerships, they did a lot this year. What I love is that they don't only do products for the mass market. You know, any growing brand would have considered doing left-handed or true ambidextrous versions of their flagship models as a non-profitable investment today, and with the X2A, the X2AES, and the left-handed version of the X3, this is a wonderful effort from Pulsar. They are growing very fast though, and a little too fast in my opinion, which could be their downfall, but we'll see. But for now, Pulsar is doing a great job of building itself up as a well-established brand in the market. Lots of releases this year, and there are many good ones that I enjoyed which I didn't mention in this video because if not, this would be too long. If you ask me which mice would I buy again for whatever reason, at the top of my head, I'd say the Zowie U2 but a smaller size when it's available, the Sora V2, and I've used mine so much that it looks abused, the Superlight 2 Dex but perhaps in another color, and I wouldn't get my hopes up for Logitech doing a smaller version, but if they do, it's an instant buy for me. And the OP1 8K, but maybe the new 4K wireless version because I already know how good the mouse is and I'm okay with the weight. You know, too many releases are clones of a popular product, and I try to focus on the originals, or at least if they do something interesting, I'll make an exception because there really isn't enough time to properly test and shoot every single product released within the year, so I've been very selective and actually turning down more products than I review. No best budget mouse recommendation from me because I realized quite many of the new brands, Chinese brands in particular felt like they were churning out as many mouse clones as possible. And to be honest, this year for Chinese brands felt a bit like a beta phase, so now that they have churned out most of their stuff, I look forward to seeing what they will have to offer in the next year. Hopefully more unique products and innovations from everyone in 2025. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.